Woohoo! We back, ladies and gentlemen. New character day in Deadlock. Today, in the big update on 11.7, Trapper was added to the roster for Hero Labs. Dude looks like a wannabe Pocket. He's got the briefcase, he's got the gun, that looks like Pocket. Neither here nor there. Let's break him down. Let's check him out, and we're gonna go over the rest of the patch notes. There's some big balance changes, and there's some changes to the spawns of jungles, and just a whole bunch of other stuff. So let's get on into it. But first, let's break down Trapper. So I don't think he was added to the game previously. I think he is a brand new character, because before, if you didn't know, you could go dump hero names and get a list of the whole roster. These are some pretty, there's some experimental names in there and some stuff from Citadel or Neon Prime, whatever it was called before. But here we go, Trapper. Yeah, he was not in the game before. As we know, Hero Labs is a highly experimental and developmental area to test out characters. Look at those shoulders. So I'm sure that he will change a bunch in the way he looks and feels, and I can't imagine they're going to keep a Pocket clone like this, but it seems like they just wanted to get him out and test his abilities. So that's what we're going to do. So getting into it, Trapper's first ability, Bottled Phantasmicide. That's an interesting word. Throw a jar that leaves a pool of poison, dealing spirit damage and slowing. The pool spreads over time, growing in size. Comes with a 4-second duration on the upgrade, a 2-meter max radius, and 100 DPS on the max upgrade. Not much looks like it changes outside of that, aside from a duration. Let's check this one out. It really looks like Warden's bottle. Warden's one. Again, I'm sure that'll probably change. Look at this thing just spread. I mean, obviously these are some level 1 enemies, but that's kind of crazy duration coming out of it, as well as the radius. And this is no items, leveled up all the way. Let's test it unleveled. It's gonna probably, okay, this one didn't take damage when he spawned. That's interesting. Maybe a bug. And that's what it looks like on the first. So, almost killed level 1 Infernus. I'm sure you'll get some varying results on different level 1 heroes, but I mean, that's a lot of damage. I mean, granted, he's not going to stand in that circle the whole time. He might get out of it now. I mean, you know, there's just no way that somebody's going to just stand in here. And maybe at the start when everybody first starts playing him and doesn't really know the moves, but this would probably be better for like a team fight. I don't think that's going to do too much for you in the early laning phase. Aside from farming, this will be pretty big for farm, I imagine. With jungles and such, we'll go and test that out. Maybe not great for troopers, but jungle, I mean, this has got to be money. We'll just go ahead and level it up all the way for the sake of experimenting. I mean, look at that. Boom, bam. Set it and forget it. I mean, I guess you could go as far away as you want. I don't think it's going to kill. If it kills tier 3 camp, okay, it does. So, I mean, that's pretty cool. It's kind of like a McGinnis turret. You just throw it down and forget it. That's your one, Bottled Phantasmicide. Off to a good start. I like that. On the 2, you have Silk Trap. Create a thread of web between 2 surfaces. Enemies who touch the web take spirit damage and are slowed. So common theme so far is slowing and spirit damage. It comes stock with 200 damage, a 99% movement slow. What the hell? 2-second debuff duration, 60-second web duration, and 100 max web distance. You get an extra charge on the level 1, 120-second web duration on the 2. And the webs also disarm for 4 seconds. So let's check that out on the fully upgraded, and we'll check it out again on 1. Oh, okay. You can, okay, that's interesting. So you can set the web between 2 locations, like it says, but you can really kind of get creative with it. I don't know what happened there. Didn't go through it, I guess. Okay, that guy slowed his ass down a lot. Good little combo. It does, okay, so while it is a 99% movement slow, the debuff duration is only 2 seconds. So I think coupled with a superior duration, maybe. Oh, it doesn't really change anything. Interesting. Oh, I didn't buy it. Okay, so superior duration does add just over half a second to the debuff duration. So, I mean, that's nothing absolutely crazy. I missed that there. Yeah, that's interesting. You can, I mean, this is kind of getting a little skillful. I mean, you can really set some traps and like, I'm really interested to see how people play around with that. That's a cool ability, and I like that you can like the coupling between the two. That could make for some interesting play. We'll check it out on base level too. Same kind of dealio. It really doesn't look like only the web duration and the charge and the disarm, obviously. But aside from that, you don't really see much change between the damage and the slow and the duration, any of that stuff, until you buy some external items. So that's your number 2, Silk Trap. They even copied Pocket Slide. On the 3, Hest Barrier. Apply a barrier to a target ally, granting Spirit Shield. As long as the shield holds, it periodically deals spirit damage and slows. Cast this on yourself. You can cast it on yourself. There's that periodic spirit damage, and we'll go test out the slow. So yeah, I mean, I don't feel like that's really slowing him all that much. 30% movement slow, so yeah, nothing crazy. But I mean, it's got a little tick damage. You can add like Spirit Pulse, or I think it's called. I mean, look for it. But this is a pretty cool one. I mean, it's kind of like Warden's Shield, but it gives you a little bit. I mean, it gives you spirit damage, which the other one just is spirit resist, if I remember correctly. So that's kind of cool. You get an 8-second cooldown on it on the level 1. Plus 200% spirit shield health on the 2, and a 5-meter radius on the 3. So I mean, that gets pretty big. Interesting. Pretty cool. I like it so far. It's a pretty good kit. I think it's got a lot of potential, especially once you start adding items to it and whatnot. But let's check out the ultimate on the 4, Crawling Plague. Release a wave of spectral spiders that chase enemies and explode, dealing spirit damage. Hit enemies that are poisoned, temporarily losing spirit and spirit resist. This can stack multiple times. So let's check it out here. Okay, you get a Spider Brigade. They got a pretty long range on them too. Oh, he's coming back. Oh, he got him. You get some spider friends that looks like they don't really go homing missile. I swear the other one before kind of did. So you get a debuff if you're hit. Takes some nice little spirit damage. 25-second spider lifetime, so those motherfuckers will just patrol. You get a 45-second cooldown on the first upgrade, an additional -3 spirit and -3 spirit resist added to the debuffs, and summon 5 more spiders. No way. What the fuck? Oh my god. That's ridiculous. That is ridiculous. Wow. Creepy crawlies all over the place. I hope you guys don't have arachnophobia. That's kind of crazy. That ultimate seems really cool. So that is the first look at all of Trapper's abilities. I think this kit is really, really interesting. It's really cool. It's got so much slow damage. This ultimate seems just ridiculous, like, especially when it's leveled all the way up. This character seems awesome. He might be one of my favorites of the now 7 new heroes added to Deadlock in the past month. Really loving the progress we're getting out of the devs. This is great. Counterstrike devs could never bring back the train. So yeah, that is Trapper. That is a first look at Trapper, the new hero in Deadlock as of 11/7. Now, with that, let's go and take a look at the patch notes for today and break down a couple of the things that I noticed while I was reading through them earlier. Obviously, there's a whole litany of balance changes and item changes and hero changes. I mean, everybody gets hit with some sort of buff or nerf. Pretty much every patch, it seems like. Nobody is safe. So Yamato, Wraith, Warden, Discus, Vindicta, Pocket, Paradox, Mirage, McGinnis, Lash, Ivy, Infernus, Haze, Greytown, Dynamo, Bebop, Abrams, all received some sort of nerf or buff on this patch. Spirit items, vitality items, and weapon items all received some sort of buff or patch as well. So be wary coming into the game if you're not going to read through all this. To be honest, I never really do, because it seems like everything changes to a week-to-week basis, so it's better to kind of get in and feel it out, because sometimes these numbers just don't even feel real, especially when there's just so much stuff going on within these balance changes. So, big balance update. On top of balance changes, as we went over, Trapper was added to Hero Labs. Hero Labs is now available in private lobbies. The new quick buy menu within the buy menu. You can right-click items in the shop to add them to your quick buy queue, and when you return to the shop, you can immediately buy them all. That's awesome. A little bit of pre-planning, because I hate running back and not really knowing. Sit there for a few minutes and, go shopping and look around. Maybe this will be a little bit better in helping just add your buy or add your build guide to the quick buy, and you can just go back and it'll streamline stuff a lot. They changed where hero stats are now located. If you're a stat head and you like checking that stuff out, be wary of that. Some Steam game recording tools added. And here are just a bunch of bugs. There's a lot of animation changes and just overall readability things that it looks like they added. We saw in the last Halloween update, they added they did a whole art pass on Green Lane. So it looks like they're really trying to up the visual fidelity of the game and just make it all around more pretty. and I mean, it's looking great so far. So interested to see, I mean, like I said, certain rare bugs, and I mean, I really can't tell you what animations look bad and this, that, and the other. So you'll see all that when you get in there. Hopefully some stuff looks cooler and just looks more readable. They reduced a lot of the visual clutter on stuff, so maybe it'll just look better. Walker damage versus players increased by 10%. Love it. Guardian damage towards troopers is higher. I wish they'd make it higher for characters. Just saying. And some other souls changes with the troopers. This is one that I am excited about. They have changed around the jungle. Before, you had these tier 2 farms on the edges of the map. They were very awkward to get to. Nobody ever goes over there. Really, I hated and skipped these most of the time. They're just not convenient to go to. I would hit them if the rest of the jungle has been hit. But now they have moved them onto the roof. This looks like it is above. This looks like the tier 2 farm next to, in between these 2 lanes. So on the roof of that building with the line right here from, I guess, yellow lane. And it looks like on the roof right above, or it looks like right behind the tier 3 farm, if I'm looking at this correctly. Same thing over here, tier 3 farm on the roof up by the zip lines. There's gonna be zip lines right here. And same thing. So be wary of this when you're going into the game. I really like this change. I think it's gonna add, just because the jungles always get just torn apart late game. It'll be nice to at least have these in a more accessible location, because I know everybody, I feel like, skips these on the edges. So that's a cool little update. They have redesigned the warehouse. That is cool. I honestly can't make too much out of this map. Oh, okay, here we go. This is the new warehouse. They added some stairs where the stairs to the teleporter was, and they changed the stairs over here. So now you can get into the warehouse from right here instead of having to go up and around. I like that. That's cool. Getting in and around there was kind of annoying, so that's a good change in my book. They've added some spikes to the roofs to keep you guys off of them, because they're tired of Vindicta hiding up there, I guess. And then here are the changes from the Halloween patch. We already went over them, or I'm sure you've already seen them if you've played the game in the past week. There's a big change to Green Lane, and they changed, I guess, how the base looks that I didn't even realize. So that's cool. Those are the high points of today's patch. I really don't want to sit here and bore you guys with just reading out 3.8% change to 4%. So if you play any of the characters I listed earlier, make sure you just go in and kind of check it out. I wouldn't worry too much about it. They're going to be changing stuff all the time. We know that. Make sure you go check out the patch notes real quick, and if you feel like you need to get your hands on them and get into the nitty-gritty, but we're going to stay out of the weeds in this one. Thank you for watching. I've been Kronos. This has been your 11.7 update for Deadlock. Thank you very much, and have a good night.